The space station, called Haven 9, floated quietly near the edge of human territory. It was old, slow, and mostly forgotten. Cargo ships stopped there only when they had no other choice. The lights flickered often. The walls carried marks from 100 small repairs. It was not a place where legends were born. Evan worked there as a human engineer. He liked the silence. He liked that no one expected much from him. His days were simple. Wake up. Fix broken systems. Eat alone. Sleep. That was enough. The galaxy outside was loud and dangerous. Empires rose and fell. Aliens fought over borders and resources. Evan stayed far from all of that. On this day, the station received an alert. An incoming ship. Evan paused in the maintenance tunnel and checked his wrist screen. The ship's code was strange, old, not registered with any local group. That alone was unusual. Most ships avoided Haven 9 unless they were desperate. The docking alarm sounded low and slow. When Evan arrived at the docking ring, a small crowd had gathered. Humans, traders, and a few aliens stood watching. The air felt tense. The ship's hull was dark and smooth, marked with deep scars. It looked like it had been running for a long time. The hatch opened. A tall alien woman stepped out. She wore a long, dark coat that covered her body completely. Her hands were slim and pale blue. Around her neck was a device that softly hummed. But what drew everyone's attention was her face. It was fully covered by a smooth black mask. No symbols, no lights, no transparent surface. It's just a blank mask. Whispers spread through the docking ring. She's one of them. Masked species. Dangerous. Cursed. The alien woman stood still. Her posture was calm, but Evan noticed how carefully she moved, like someone used to being watched. Her voice came through a translator, soft and controlled. I request temporary shelter and repair access. The station commander hesitated. Haven 9 did not turn people away often. But fear moved faster than rules. We will review your request, the commander said carefully. The alien woman nodded. She did not argue. She did not beg. She simply waited. Evan felt something twist in his chest. He did not know why. Hours later, Evan was called to the command level. The alien woman stood there alone, silent, her mask reflecting the dull station lights. She asked for you, the commander said quietly. For me? Evan asked, surprised. She needs a private repair, life support system in her assigned quarters. She requested a human engineer. You're the only one available. Evan looked at the masked alien woman. She turned her head slightly toward him. I was told humans fix what others fear to touch, she said. Evan swallowed. I'll do it. They walked through the station corridors together. No guards followed. No one wanted to be too close to her. Inside her quarters, the door sealed shut behind them. The room was dim and quiet. Strange alien tools lined the walls. The air felt heavy, like it carried old memories. Evan moved to the broken panel near the wall. Life support problem? He asked. Yes, she replied. Fails when I sleep. Evan worked carefully. As he removed the panel, he felt her presence behind him. She stood very still, too still. You've lived on many stations, Evan said, trying to break the silence.
Yes.
For a long time? Yes. He noticed how she avoided questions. Not with anger, but with caution. Someone who learned that words could be dangerous. As Evan fixed the damaged power relay, he heard her breathing change slightly. Faster, unsteady. Are you all right? He asked. I have not been alone with someone in many years, she said. Evan turned to look at her. The mask stared back at him. I will leave if you want, he said quickly. No, she replied. Stay. Something in her voice carried weight. Trust, maybe. Or risk. Evan finished the repair. The system lights turned green. The room's hum grew steady. It should work now, he said. She was silent for a long moment. Then she spoke again, quieter this time. Humans are strange, she said. You do not stare at my mask. You do not ask what I hide. Evan shrugged. Everyone has something they don't want seen. The alien woman froze. Her hand slowly rose toward her mask. Evan's heart began to race. Out. For a moment it felt like the entire station held its breath. Her fingers touched the edge of the mask. Then alarms blared through Haven 9. Red lights flashed. External sensors screamed warnings. The alien woman lowered her hands immediately. They found me, she whispered. Evan looked at his wrist screen. Unknown ships had entered sensor range. Fast. Armed, who found you? Evan asked. She turned toward him. The mask closed now. Those who killed my people, she said. And those who fear what my face reveals. The station shook as the first warning impact echoed through the hull. She took a step closer to Evan. If you stay near me, she said, your life will change forever. Evan did not move. Outside, the galaxy had finally noticed Haven 9, and everything was about to begin. The alarms echoed through Haven 9 like a wounded cry. Red lights painted the corridors as the station shook again. Evan grabbed the wall to steady himself. He had lived on this station for years, but it had never felt so fragile. The masked alien woman stood perfectly still. They are scanning, she said calmly. They always scan first. Evan looked at his wrist screen. 3 unknown ships hovered outside the station. Their shapes were sharp and aggressive, nothing like trade vessels. Weapon signatures flickered across the display. Who are they? Evan asked. Hunters, she replied. They do not see people. They see threats. Another impact rattled the station. Somewhere far away, metal screamed. Evan made a decision without thinking. Follow me, he said. She tilted her head slightly, surprised. Then she followed. They moved through service corridors, narrow paths only engineers used. Evan knew these tunnels better than anyone. He led her down ladders and through maintenance hatches, while the station above them filled with fear. As they moved, Evan noticed something strange. The closer danger came, the calmer she seemed. Her breathing slowed. Her steps became steady. You've done this before, Evan said. Oh, yes, she replied. Too many times they reached a hidden maintenance chamber near the core. Evan sealed the door and activated sound dampeners. The alarms faded into a distant echo. For a moment, there was only silence. You should leave, she said suddenly. If they find me here, they will destroy this station, and everyone on it, Evan added. She nodded. That is why I hide my face. Fear spreads faster than truth. Evan leaned against the wall, catching his breath. You still haven't told me your name, he said. She hesitated. I am called Salith, she said finally. That name has brought death before. Evan nodded as if she had told him something ordinary. I'm Evan. Salith stepped closer. The faint hum of her mask filled the room. You are not afraid, she said. Your heart rate is high, but your eyes are steady. I am afraid, Evan replied. I just don't let fear decide for me. For the first time, Salith paused longer than usual. Outside the chamber, footsteps echoed. Heavy boots, armed patrols, from the station security. The hunters had already sent boarding teams. They will ask questions, Salith said. If you lie for me, you will be marked. Evan smiled weakly. First time for everything. The door opened. Security officers entered with weapons raised. Step away from the alien, one of them ordered. Evan stepped forward instead. She's under my responsibility, he said. Her systems were failing. I brought her here for safety. The officers hesitated. They did not like standing near Salith. Even with the mask, something about her presence unsettled them. We've received warnings, the officer said. Galactic advisories. Masked species are classified as high risk. Based on what? Evan asked. The officer did not answer. Salith spoke then. Your fear is not yours, she said calmly. It was taught to you. The officers shifted uneasily. Before things could escalate, the station commander's voice echoed through the channel. Stand down, all of you. The officers lowered their weapons and backed away. The commander appeared on a wall screen. His face was pale.
External forces are demanding we surrender the masked alien, he said. They claim she is a weapon.
Salith lowered her head slightly. I will go, she said. If I leave quietly, they may spare your people. No, Evan said firmly. The commander stared at him. You don't understand what you're asking, the commander said. Those ships can tear this station apart. Then we talk, Evan replied. Humans are good at that too. Salith turned toward Evan sharply. You would challenge them for me? For a person, Evan corrected, not a threat. The commander hesitated. He looked at the sensor data again. Then he sighed. 5 minutes, he said. That's all I can give you. The channel closed. Salith faced Evan. Slowly, she raised her hands toward her mask again. If they breach the station, she said, I may have no choice. Evan felt a chill. What happens if you remove it? She stepped closer until he could feel warmth radiating from her skin. They will see the truth, she whispered. And truth is dangerous. The station shook violently. One of the hunters fired a warning shot that tore through an outer section. 5 minutes began to count down. Evan looked at Salith's mask, then at the blinking timer on the wall. For the first time, he wondered what kind of face could frighten an entire galaxy. And why she trusted a single human with that secret. The 5-minute countdown felt louder than the alarms. Evan watched the numbers burn away on the wall screen. Outside, the hunter ships moved closer, their shadows sliding across Haven 9 like dark claws. The station felt smaller now, like a place with no exits. Salith stood in the center of the chamber. Her mask reflected the red lights, cold and unreadable. They will not wait, she said. Hunters never do. Evan crossed his arms, trying to slow his breathing. You said they hunt threats, he said. What makes you? Salith did not answer right away. Instead, she moved toward a small console near the wall and placed her hand against it. The surface glowed and came to life, projecting old symbols and broken images. These are records, she said. What remains of my people? The images shifted. Evan saw tall beings without masks. Their faces were strange but calm. Her eyes glowed softly, changing color with emotion. They were not monsters, Evan said quietly. No, Salith replied. We were mirrors, she explained slowly, choosing her words with care. Her species could not hide what they felt. Their faces showed truth without effort. Fear, joy, lies, even hatred. Nothing could be hidden when one of her people was near. At first, she said, the galaxy welcomed us. Leaders trusted us. Deals became honest. The images changed. Crowds, councils, then anger. But truth makes powerful beings afraid, Salith continued. Empires depend on secrets. Evan watched scenes of armed fleets surrounding peaceful worlds. They called us dangerous, Salith said. They said our faces controlled minds, that we were weapons. Her hand tightened into a fist. They hunted us. The projection ended. The chamber went dark again. Evan felt his chest tighten. So you hid your face, he said. Yes, Salith replied. To survive. To become invisible. A loud explosion shook the station. Evan stumbled. Somewhere above them, metal tore apart. They are breaking through, Evan said. Salith turned toward him. Now you know, she said. You should leave. Evan did not move. If I leave, he said, they'll still come for you. In this station, Salith tilted her head. You would risk many lives for one alien woman, for one innocent person, Evan replied. Humans have done worse for less. She studied him closely. For the first time, her voice softened. Your kind is strange, she said. You fear much, yet you choose trust. Another blast rocked Haven 9. The lights flickered. The station commander's voice came through Evan's wrist screen. They've breached Deck 6, the commander said. We can't hold them much longer. Evan looked at Salith. Can you talk to them? He asked. Show them the truth. Salith shook her head slowly. They will not see, she said. They never do. The countdown reached 0. The door to the chamber shook under heavy impacts. Salith raised her hands toward her mask. If they enter, she said, I will remove it. Not for them, for you. Evan's heart began to race. You don't have to, he said. Yes, she replied, I do. Trust must begin somewhere. The door cracked. Metal bent inward. Evan stepped closer to her. I won't turn away, he said. Salith paused. Her fingers rested on the mask's edge. Her breathing grew unsteady. No one has said that to me in many years, she whispered. The door burst open. Armed hunters poured into the chamber, weapons raised. Their armor was dark and sharp, faces hidden behind visors. There she is, one of them said. Target secured. Salith stood tall. Slowly, calmly, she removed the mask. The chamber filled with light. Her face glowed softly, alive with color. Her eyes reflected fear, hope, pain, and trust all at once. Every emotion she felt poured out openly. The hunters froze. Their weapons lowered slightly as confusion spread across their faces. "What is this?" one whispered. They felt it, the truth, the lies they carried, the fear they had buried. Some stepped back. Evan stood beside Salith. He felt fear rise inside him, sharp and real, but he did not move. He did not look away. Salith glanced at him. He was still there. Her eyes softened. The hunters shouted, shaken and angry. "This is a trick," their leader yelled. "Do not—" The chamber felt frozen in time. Salith stood without her mask, her face glowing softly in the dim red light. Every feeling inside her showed clearly. Fear was there, sharp and honest. Pain from old wounds, something new that Evan had never seen before. Hope. The hunters stared at her. Their weapons trembled in their hands. Some of them stepped back, their breathing uneven. "Look away!" their leader shouted again. "Do not let her affect you." But his voice sounded weak. He was already affected.
Ow.
One hunter removed his helmet slowly, like he was waking from a long sleep. His face was pale. "She's not lying," he whispered. "She never was." The leader turned toward him in rage. "Put your helmet back on," he ordered. "This is manipulation." Salith took a slow step forward. She did not raise her hands. She did not threaten them. "I do not control you," she said. "I only show you what already exists inside." Her eyes shifted, glowing brighter. The hunters flinched as their own emotions rushed forward. Guilt, doubt, fear of what they had done. Evan felt it too. His heart pounded. Memories rose in his mind. Regret, lonely nights, choices he wished he could change. It was overwhelming, but he stayed. He took another step closer to Salith and stood at her side. "She's telling the truth," Evan said loudly. "If you were brave enough to face yourselves, you would know that." The leader raised his weapon at Evan. "You protect her," he said. "That makes you a target." Evan did not move. "Then aim," he replied. "But you'll have to face while you're pulling the trigger." The hunter's fingers shook on the weapon. Outside the chamber, the station continued to shake. Fires burned on lower decks. People screamed over open channels. Haven 9 was dying slowly. Salith turned her head toward Evan. "This is why I hid," she said softly. "Truth breaks fragile systems. Then maybe they deserve to break," Evan answered. The hunter leader growled in anger. "Enough," he shouted. "Take her now." Several hunters stepped forward, forcing themselves to look away from Salith's face. They fired stun restraints that wrapped around her arms and legs. Salith gasped and fell to one knee. Evan rushed forward instinctively. "Stop!" he shouted. A hunter struck Evan across the chest, sending him crashing into the wall. Pain exploded through his body. He struggled to breathe. Salith cried out. Her face changed instantly. Fear vanished. Something ancient and powerful replaced it. The light from her skin intensified. The hunters screamed as emotions they had buried for years slammed into them. Some fell to their knees. Others dropped their weapons and fled the chamber. The leader alone remained standing, shaking violently. "What are you?" he whispered. Salith rose slowly, the restraints cracking under the pressure of her will. "I am the truth you ran from," she said. The restraints shattered. Evan pushed himself up, coughing, his vision blurred. He watched in awe and fear as Salith stood free, glowing brighter than ever. She did not attack. She did not strike them down. Instead, she turned away. "I will not become what you fear," she said, "not even to save myself." She looked at Evan. "Come." Evan did not hesitate. He followed her as she moved through the chamber and into the corridor beyond. Alarms blared louder now. The station commander shouted orders across every channel. Salith moved with purpose, guiding Evan through paths he had never seen before. Hidden routes, forgotten passages. "You know this station better than me," Evan said between breaths. "How I have studied places where people hide," she replied. "I learned from your kind." They reached an observation deck overlooking space. The hunter ships loomed outside, weapons still locked onto Haven 9. Salith stopped. "If I leave," she said, "they will chase me again, forever." "And if you stay," Evan replied, "they'll destroy everything." Salith looked out at the stars. "There is one choice left," she said. "One they do not expect." She placed her hand on the station's communication array. The screens lit up across Haven 9, Her face appeared everywhere. 2 humans, 2 aliens, 2 frightened workers hiding in corridors. "This station shelters me," Salith said calmly. "I ask no one to fight for me, only to see me." People stared. They felt it. Fear softened. Hate weakened. Lies cracked. Across the station, something changed. Security officers lowered their weapons. Engineers stood their ground. Pilots prepared ships not to flee, but to protect. The hunters outside hesitated.
"What is happening?" one of them asked over open channels.
Salith turned toward Evan.
"Now," she said, "the galaxy must choose."
Evan felt something rise in his chest.
Pride. Humanity was about to be tested, and for the first time humans would decide not from fear, but from truth.
The moment Salith's face appeared on every screen, the station fell silent. Not the silence of fear. The silence of attention. People across Haven 9 stopped running. Humans and aliens alike stared at the screens in corridors, engine rooms, and damaged hangars. Fires still burned. Hull breaches still screamed warnings, but something deeper had shifted. They saw her. They felt it. Salith's face showed fear, but also calm. Pain, but also strength. There was no threat in her eyes, only honesty. Evan stood beside her on the observation deck, his body aching, his chest still tight from the blow he had taken. He looked around and saw something he had never seen before. People were not panicking, they were thinking. On the command deck, the station commander watched the feed. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from emotion he could no longer hide. "She's not lying," he whispered. Around him, officers nodded slowly. "She feels real. She feels at us." Outside the station, the hunters' ships hesitated. Their formation broke slightly as pilots argued over open channels. "This is wrong. She's not a weapon." "Why does it hurt to look at her?" their leader shouted orders. But his voice lacked certainty now. Inside the station, Salith spoke again. Her voice carried gently through every speaker. "I do not ask you to fight," she said. "I only ask you not to fear me." Evan took a step forward. "I will ask," he said loudly, his voice rough but strong. "This is our station. These are our people. We don't hand someone over just because others are scared." For a moment, no one spoke. Then a human pilot keyed into the channel. "I'm with him," another voice followed. "Me too, I won't turn away." Across Haven 9, humans stood up. Engineers sealed breaches instead of running. Medics moved toward danger instead of away. Security officers formed lines, not to attack, but to protect. Salith watched in disbelief. "You choose this," she said softly, "knowing what may happen." Evan nodded. "Humans don't need to understand everything," he replied. "Sometimes we just know what's right." The hunter ships fired, not at the station. They fired warning shots into open space. Their leader's face appeared on the station's channel. His eyes were wild, angry, but uncertain. "Release her," he demanded. "Or we destroy you," the station commander answered calmly. "No," he said. The hunter leader froze. "You would risk all this," he said, "for one alien?" "For one person," the commander corrected. "And for ourselves." Salith closed her eyes briefly. Defense cannons powered up. Old systems pushed beyond limits by hands that refused to give up. Small human ships launched from damaged bays, flying imperfectly but bravely. Evan watched the battle unfold through the viewport. He had never seen humans fight like this. Not with anger, not with hatred. With resolve. The hunters were stronger, faster, better armed. But they hesitated. Every time Salith's face appeared on their screens, doubt slowed them. One hunter ship broke formation and fled. Then another. The leader screamed in rage. "You're weak," he shouted. "You let her poison you." Salith opened her eyes and stepped forward. "No," she said. "I showed you what you buried." The hunter leader fired one last desperate shot at the station. Evan moved without thinking. He stepped in front of Salith. The blast struck the station shields hard, shaking the deck beneath their feet. The shields cracked, but held. Evan stumbled, but Salith caught him. Her hands were warm. "Steady, you should not have done that," she said quietly. "I said I wouldn't turn away," Evan replied. Something changed in Salith's face then. A decision formed. She turned toward the communication array again. "My people are not gone," she said. "We are hidden, watching, afraid." Across the stars, signals awakened. Ships that had hidden for years powered up, small, scarred, masked. The hunters froze as dozens of new signals appeared. The galaxy held its breath. "We trusted no one," Salith continued. "Until now." Human ships moved to protect the station, forming a shield of metal and courage. The hunters retreated, not in defeat. In fear, as the last enemy ship vanished into jump space, Haven 9 erupted into exhausted cheers. People collapsed where they stood. Some laughed, some cried. Salith lowered her face from the screens. Evan looked at her. "You just changed everything," he said. She shook her head slowly. "No," she replied. "You did." She placed the mask in her hands, staring at it for a long moment. Then she let it fall to the floor. "I do not need this here," she said. Evan smiled despite the pain. Above them, the stars seemed a little closer. And somewhere in the galaxy, truth had found its first safe place. Haven 9 was quiet again. Not the broken silence of fear or the heavy calm before attack. This was a different quiet. One made from relief and exhaustion. Fires were out. Hull breaches were sealed. The station still carried scars, but it was alive. Evan sat on a bench near the observation window. His body ached, but he did not mind. He watched repair drones drift slowly outside, fixing what had almost been lost. Salith stood nearby, looking out at the stars. She was not wearing her mask. People passed through the corridor behind them. Humans, aliens. Some glanced at her face, then looked away politely. Others smiled. Few nodded with respect. No one ran. No one shouted. No one asked her to hide. "I never imagined this," Salith said quietly. "A place where I can stand without covering myself." Evan smiled. "Humans are not perfect," he said, "but we learn slowly." Salith turned toward him. Her face showed something deep and calm now. Not fear, not pain. Peace. "My people hid for generations," she said. "We believed the galaxy had no room for truth. We were wrong." News screens flickered on along the corridor walls. Across the galaxy, messages were spreading fast. Footage of Salith standing openly. Humans protecting her. Hunters retreating. Masked ships emerged from hidden places. Small groups at first, then more. Survivors, her people. Salith closed her eyes as signals reached her. She felt them. Fear, hope, relief. All of it open and real. "They are coming out of hiding," she whispered. "Because of you." Evan shook his head. "Because of you," he replied. "I just stayed." Salith looked at him carefully. "That is what makes your kind dangerous," she said softly. "You stay." The station commander approached them. He looked tired, but lighter than before. "Galactic Council requests communication," he said. "They want to speak with her." Salith nodded. "I will speak," she said. "But I will not beg." The transmission opened. Faces filled the screens. Leaders from worlds that once feared her kind. Some looked ashamed. Salith stood tall. "For years you hunted my people because truth frightened you," she said calmly. "Today humans showed you another way." She gestured toward Evan and the station behind her. "They did not understand us. They did not need to. They chose trust." Silence followed. Then one council member spoke. "What do you want?" Salith did not hesitate. "To live," she said, openly, without masks, without fear. The channel went dark. Minutes passed. Then a reply came. Safe zones, protected space, recognition. It was not forgiveness, but it was a beginning. Later, Evan walked with Salith through a quiet section of the station. Soft lights reflected off metal walls. The stars outside felt closer than ever. You could leave, Evan said. Join your people. Salith stopped. I will, she said. But not yet. She turned toward him. I want to understand humans better, she said. Ah, the ones who stand when fear tells them to run. Evan laughed softly. You picked a bad example, he said. I'm just an engineer, Salith smiled. Engineers keep things alive, she replied, including hope. She reached into her coat and pulled out the mask. She held it for a moment, then placed it gently on a nearby table. I will not wear this again, she said. Evan felt a strange tightness in his chest. Then the galaxy really did change, he said. Salith looked out at the stars one last time. My people believed truth would destroy us, she said. Instead, one human showed us it could save us. Evan followed her gaze. Above Haven 9, ships moved together. Human and alien. Not perfect. Not united by force. But choosing to stand side by side. The station lights glowed brighter. And somewhere in the vast dark of space, a species stepped into the light again. Not because they were strong, but because someone finally stayed.